am I putting my feelings first? Or am I choosing to put my feelings last? So in this video and the next few videos, I'm going to be explaining the same concept in a few different contexts. In this first context, I'm going to be talking about being a dad, the alpha omega male in the context of dadness or fatherhood. So I'm a new father. I've got an 11-month-old baby boy, and I'm learning so much about being a parent. And challenged, of course, sleep deprived, all that kind of stuff. Nowhere near as much as my wife, of course. I always have to say that. She's sleeping much less than me. But the point is, it's challenging, and it's showing me my edge in a number of places, and I'm learning and I'm growing. And I'm using this insight about the alpha omega male to help me navigate what's difficult about becoming a dad. So I'm feeding my boy, right? My wife says, give him the food, so I give him the food. I put the thing on the spoon, I put it in his mouth, and he doesn't want it, and I keep trying to get it in, and I'm trying to do funny things and this and that, and get him, he's crying and whining, doesn't want to get it in. And she just says to me, if he doesn't want it, you don't have to give it to him. And it's like, oh, obviously. But it wasn't obvious to me, because I was like, I got a directive, I'm on a mission, got to get this done, got to get the food in the body, right? Just because he doesn't want it doesn't matter. I have an objective. And it was like very structured and alpha and all there. And I wasn't noticing, I was noticing the obstruction to my mission, which is his whining and moving around, but I wasn't really noticing it. And that's why my wife is so amazing, and I'm learning so much from her, or trying to anyway, on how to actually parent, is because her femininity, her openness, her receiving, she's so much more present in the moment with what's actually happening. And she could feel that he just didn't want that food anymore, which I didn't notice. Somehow. And so how is that relevant to alpha and omega? Well, this is the way I think about alpha and omega. Remember the quote I said in the previous video. I am the alpha and omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. The first and the last. When I think about the first and the last, I think about, where can I apply that in my life? Is it like sometimes I go first and sometimes I go last in action? Yeah, that's a way to apply it, but where else? Because I talked about the simultaneity, right? Like having something while I'm simultaneously doing the first and the last. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's not just about action. It could be about what we're feeling, what we're allowing ourselves to feel. So one of the places that I apply the first versus the last is, am I putting my feelings first? Or am I choosing to put my feelings last? Which, let's be clear here, that's very different than your feelings ending up in second place because you lost first place with your feelings, but now you're delegated to second because you've lost. I'm talking about choosing to put your feelings in last place. But what does that even mean? That means choosing to put what I desire, what I'm feeling is necessary right now in this moment, in last place. And why would I want to do that? Why would I want to put what I feel and what's most important to me in the last place? Because when you do so, it opens up a space for you to feel other things. Things like, oh, I don't know, maybe your baby whining and crying and not wanting the food you're trying to give them. If I could have actually felt that, not just seen it as a visual obstacle, I might have actually felt how he didn't want it, and it might have actually been information that I could have used in my mind to help me decide not to continue to try to force feeding him. But I didn't feel that because I had my feeling about my need to accomplish this thing in first place, and so I couldn't feel him. But another way this works, let's bring it even deeper, right? So I've got my action of doing this thing, and I'm feeling myself, and I choose to feel myself last, and then I have the space to feel him instead. What about in other situations, like he was playing with the gate yesterday morning or something like that, last night, trying to get into the kitchen. We have a gate up so he can't get in there. And he's not supposed to come in the kitchen, but we also kind of let him play with the gate. So anyway, he's trying to open the gate. He's trying to switch the lever, lift it. He knows how to do it so he can open it, but he's still trying to figure it out. And he's there struggling. He's trying to get it open. And I'm watching him, and my mother's visiting, and she's watching him too. And she reaches to help him get in and open the gate. And I say, no, stop. Let him do it himself. And she's like, why? He's only 10 months old. And I'm like, I know, but now this is a moment where I was both, I had my alpha kind of, this needs to happen, a mission objective, right? I had that, which is I want my son to learn, to explore, to figure stuff out, right? And I also was choosing to put my feelings first. Other feelings first, his feelings, what he's experiencing in that moment. I was feeling his frustration. I wasn't just feeling my need for him to get it right. I was putting my feelings last. I was really present. I was watching him and I was feeling his frustration. It was playful. It wasn't hard frustration, but I was feeling his, like, I'm trying to get this, right? And even though I was feeling it, I was okay with it. I was allowing that to happen. That was okay with me. If I hadn't been present and aware and allowing that to happen, allowing him to get frustrated, I would have been reacting to it, and I would have been caught up in my feelings. So it might have looked like that I was going to help him right away because I was helping him, but I think my mother was actually experiencing her discomfort was his discomfort with not being able to do it, as opposed to her just allowing his discomfort to be his discomfort in that moment during his exploration. And so by me having my directive, my mission for my son to learn and explore and grow, and by also feeling his frustration, but being able to be with that and contain it and be present to it and be okay with it, I was able to fold that feeling of him back into my mission and directive and ask my mom to stop, declare to my mother, stop, no, actually I want him to finish this and figure it out on his own. Not because he has to, but because he's okay right now. A little bit of tension's all right. And then he was able to do it. And he figured it out and he opened the gate. This isn't really about my son so much as the internal experience of how do you integrate both the alpha and the omega aspects. How do you have a mission, a directive, something you want to accomplish? Have so much desire and emotion around it that you feel in your body, but not have that desire and emotion, commitment, and that energy and that courage and all that stuff cloud you from feeling people out in the world too. You need to feel them because sometimes what you're doing is too much and it's not empathetic, it's not compassionate, it's getting in the way, and you'll just be force feeding them and you're hurting them and be doing no good, right? All alpha all the time and no inner feeling of the others. Like if you're feeling from an alpha place and you're moving from alpha, you're not connected to the world. And so sometimes you need to be in order to not overdo it. And at the same time, sometimes you need to be feeling the world and others, because when you feel them, you become more able to have nuance and more subtle distinction around how to continue in action, moving forward and doing what you're doing to be more impactful. Even though on the outside it will look the same, there's a quality of that doing that will be slightly different. And that slight difference, that slight improvement in quality, the subtlety, the nuance is about bringing in not just the alpha forward in an action in the world, but having it do so as directed by and informed by the omega aspect of ourselves. And right now what I'm saying that is that choosing to put my feeling for myself, my desires for myself last, so I can open a space to feel others, and I can use the information of others and their feelings to inform my kind of alpha structure, let's go do it, let's make it happen, movement in a particular direction. I'm going to share the same concept again in the next video about being an alpha male as a husband. An alpha omega male as a husband. And I'm going to talk also about being an alpha omega male in business as an entrepreneur. So watch out for the next videos. Much love. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the button, and also share with your friends, share the love, tweet it, Facebook it, Google Plus it, LinkedIn it, whatever you do, get it out there. And of course, if you really want to engage in this idea, down below in the comments, the discussion, the dialogue is where the best insights come. Challenge me, ask me questions, I will get back to you. Your ideas, your comments help me to create more videos. Finally, if you're interested in learning it all about what I do, my personal coaching for leaders, artists, musicians, sole proprietors, anybody who's a creative force in the world and creating their own things, check out my website. Also, if you're a coach and you want to learn more about my apprenticeship or learn more about how I create coaching clients, check out my website, link down below. Much love.